I'm sure.
Thankfully, I have one of the signatories to this particular petition, the person of Mr. Daniel Domelevo, no mean a person. But really, Mr. Domelevo, one will ask, what then is the motivation for you to append a signature to this particular petition for Parliament to look into it when indeed this case has gone through the mail? We've heard EOCO raise concerns about the fact that there is no evidence that has been provided by the OSP. You are key in the fight against corruption, and you've heard the OSP say there is no direct or immediate case when it comes to corruption against Madam Cecilia Dapaah. What then are you looking for? Why do you append your signature to such a petition?
I appended my signature to the petition because I am not convinced with the statements or the inconsistencies that we are seeing in handling of the case. It looks like state institutions which have been mandated so to protect the public purse or fight against graft, they are all disabled or unable to perform their functions, and that to me is disturbing. Apart from that, to me, what is worrying is the fact that, if you remember, before Madam Cecilia Dapaah resigned as a minister, the president, in accepting the resignation letter, prophesied or predicted that her integrity or her reputation will be fully restored after the investigation. So to me, it looks like something is being cooked. Something fishy is happening, because believe me or not, if it is you, MFA, who had a fraction of these monies, I don't think you will be sleeping in your house by now. The rate at which you will have been tortured, turned up and down, etc., will be difficult. So the long and short of it is that we are not believing the story we have been hearing so far. So we want to hear the story behind the story. And we think that Parliament instituting a probe will give us a better idea about what happened. Is it actually purely money laundering? Is it purely corruption issue? Is it that OSP is not interested? Or is it that Mame Tiwa and his colleagues at the EOCO are not interested? But like the OSP did, one will have expected that they don't just review a file and come and tell us that they are not able to make a head and tail of it. I thought they would have done a bit of investigation. And if after their investigation they don't find anything, then they can tell Ghanaians that, yes, guys, we were told that this is bordering on money laundering. But after our investigation, we could not find anything. And that is the disturbing part of it. To me, there are two issues. Because one, anybody who is a public officer at that level, senior, a minister of state, receives appropriation from the consolidated fund. Public funds are given to you. As a result of which, Article 286 of the Constitution requires that you should declare your assets and liabilities before you assume that office. Why is it so? Because public funds can become appropriated to private funds. So funds can be commingled at any time. Therefore, the law requires that you declare your assets even before you come to office. After every 4 years, you declare again. And when you are leaving, you declare. So all this must be looked at to see, did she declare something like this? And that is there justification in that quantum of money which was found? And all these questions must be answered, and then we will be happy and we will not have said anything. But all these are being pushed aside. Personally, my intel tells me that there was even an attempt to get the asset declaration from the Auditor General's office, and it failed. It failed because, according to the Act 550, which is on the Public Office Holders Assets and Liability Declaration Law, it mandates some state institutions who can assess the asset declaration, charge, and the rest. And OSP was not there at the time, so their name is not in the law, so they were not allowed. So I thought at least EOCO could have carried this to the court. The court will say, look, bring your declaration when you became a minister, and she has served a 4-year term. So after the 4-year term, bring that declaration. Let's see whether you have evidence of this in your declaration. And now, the difference between what you declared and what we are seeing now, how did you make it? Lastly, the point again is the fact that if you heard Mamitiwa, she was talking about there was no predicate offense.
Yeah.
And that is the lie they want us to believe. The law does not talk about only predicate offense. If you look at Section 1, Subsection 3 of the Anti-Money Laundering Act, it provides that when you are being investigated for money laundering and you have in your possession assets which is in your possession or under your control, which you cannot account for or cannot be attributed to your income, then you are guilty of money laundering.
Well